This conversation is powered by Google Illuminate. Check out illuminate.google.com for more. Today we're diving into Homer's epic poem, The Iliad. It's a story of war, gods, and human drama. What's the central theme that drives the narrative?
The central theme is the rage of Achilles, a Greek warrior. His anger and its consequences drive the plot and shape the fates of both the Greeks and the Trojans.
Achilles' rage sounds intense. What triggers it?
Agamemnon, the leader of the Greek forces, takes Briseis, a captive woman, from Achilles. This act of disrespect ignites Achilles' fury and leads him to withdraw from the war.
So what impact does Achilles' withdrawal have on the war?
The Greeks, weakened by Achilles' absence, begin to lose ground to the Trojans. The tide of battle shifts, and the Greeks face potential defeat.
Are there any key events or battles that stand out during this period?
Several crucial battles take place. We see the heroism of Diomedes, the wisdom of Nestor, and the cunning of Ulysses. Despite their efforts, the Greeks continue to struggle without Achilles.
If Achilles is so important, why doesn't Agamemnon simply return Briseis?
Pride and a struggle for power play a significant role. Agamemnon, though realizing his mistake, is reluctant to back down. He wants to maintain his authority.
So how does the poem portray the gods? What's their role in the war?
The gods are very active, almost like another set of warring factions. Some support the Greeks, others the Trojans. They intervene in battles, offer guidance, and even deceive mortals.
It sounds like a complicated divine soap opera. Are there any particular gods whose actions have a major impact?
Zeus, the king of the gods, tries to remain neutral but often gets swayed by other gods, especially Hera, his wife, who favors the Greeks. Apollo strongly supports the Trojans.
With the gods involved, how do human actions matter? Do mortals have any agency?
Human choices and actions definitely have consequences. While the gods influence events, mortals still make decisions that shape their own fates and the outcome of the war.
What about Hector? He's a major fighter on the Trojan side, right?
Hector is the Trojan champion, a noble warrior, and a devoted family man. He's a complex character, driven by duty and love for his city and family.
Does Hector ever face Achilles?
Yes, their duel is one of the most famous and dramatic moments in the poem. It's a clash of champions, fueled by rage and a desire for revenge.
Can you tell us more about this duel? What leads up to it?
Patroclus, Achilles' close friend, enters the battle wearing Achilles' armor. He's killed by Hector, which pushes Achilles to return to the war, seeking vengeance.
So Achilles finally rejoins the fight. What happens when he returns?
Achilles' return is a turning point. He's filled with rage and grief, and his presence terrifies the Trojans. He cuts a swath through their ranks.
Does he eventually confront Hector?
Yes, and their duel is a brutal and decisive encounter. Achilles kills Hector, fulfilling his desire for revenge.
How does the poem portray the aftermath of Hector's death?
The scene is filled with grief and despair, especially on the Trojan side. Priam, Hector's father, goes to Achilles' camp to beg for his son's body.
What's Achilles' reaction to Priam's plea?
Initially, Achilles is consumed by rage, but he's eventually moved by Priam's grief and his own memories of his father. He agrees to return Hector's body.
That's a powerful moment of human connection amidst the brutality of war. How does the poem end?
The poem concludes with Hector's funeral, a scene of mourning and lamentation that underscores the devastating impact of the war on both sides.
The Iliad covers a specific period of the Trojan War. What about the overall war? How does it eventually end?
The Iliad doesn't tell the whole story of the Trojan War. It ends with Hector's funeral, but Troy is eventually taken by the Greeks through the famous Trojan horse trick.
What happens to the major characters after the events of the Iliad?
Achilles is later killed by Paris, Priam is killed during the sack of Troy, and Helen returns to Sparta with Menelaus. Each character faces their own fate.
The Iliad is considered a foundational work of Western literature. Why has it endured for so long?
Its timeless themes of war, love, loss, and fate resonate with readers across centuries. The characters are complex and human, and the poetry is powerful and evocative.
This was a good discussion on the key points of the Iliad. Thank you.